Hello everyone, what if anime here? It's been a long time since I said that. Oh my god, I beat myself up over this, but now I'm back, and we're gonna do what ifs. So today I'm doing another My Hero Academia what if. It's what if Deku was Deadpool, but from Wolverine Origins. I like this version of Deadpool. It's mostly because he doesn't talk. I get annoyed when Deadpool talks, but it's also funny. But the reason why I picked this one is so that way I want to do a dark what if. The other ones I've done are just meh, kind of like in the middle dark. But this one, I'm going completely dark on. There'll be a happy moment sometimes, but not a whole lot of them. Wait a second, sorry. I was checking to see something. I thought I got a message. Nope. Now, Deku is Deku's mother is still going to be Inko, but his father will be all for one. Yeah, I'm doing that, but because I kind of like that concept. And now Deku is born, and he's born. I'm just gonna say this now. He's born quirkless, and the doctor, and I'm gonna say like, okay, so I believe Deku was born like 3 years or like 3 or 4 years before the fight, but before the All Might versus All for One round one. I'm gonna just say that, but now I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna make him a little bit older. So Deku is born 3 days before the fight, and so they're all they're all like they're all celebrating Izuku's birth because in All for One saying a speech like "My son will take my spot when I die." All this stuff. Inko is there, just being happy. Then All Might bursts in through the door. Those two get into their fight. All Might gets injured. Inko gets away. And I'm going to say Kurogiri stays with Inko. Because I like Kurogiri, so I'm just going to give him a little bit of love here. So Kurogiri stays with Inko and helps raises Midoriya. So Deku sees Kurogiri as his father. And so what happens is 4 years go by. Izuku is now 4 years old, and he's going to the quirk doctor. Now this is I believe that yeah, it's the same doctor. The doctor that tells Deku that he's quirkless also works for One for All, and All for One's still alive in this one. So is still alive because obviously. So Deku, they do the test and all this, and Deku is quirkless. Once All for One hears about this, he gets upset because he feels like he also let his son down too because he didn't win the fight. He kind of did, but he got really injured in the process. So the doctor reaches out to Kurogiri. The doctor and All for One reach out to Kurogiri. Kurogiri and Inko take Midoriya to a secret base where All for One is recuperating. He's in the tube in like a, I forget what it's called, but he's like in a tube. He has a mask on. He's healing himself. And so they get there right about the time when that cycle ends. So he's able to get out, walk around freely. He looks like he doesn't can, but he has to wear a respirator. So he's wearing the respirator, and Inko starts tearing up because her husband, Hisashi, I'm just going to say that, his name's Hisashi, his real name's Hisashi, is alive and well, and my air conditioner just turned on. So, oh, that freaked me out. Oh, that just freaked me out. Sorry. So, All for One is alive. Inko's crying, and she runs up and hugs him. Kurogiri is holding Midoriya's hand. And then All for One kneels down to Midoriya and says, "You may see Kurogiri as your father, but no, I am your father." I just realized that was like a Star Wars reference. Ow, that hurt my soul. But no, Deku is shocked by this, is kind of dumbfounded, and he looks at Kurogiri, and Kurogiri says the same thing. He is your father. It's the truth. I was basically your caretaker for the 4 years. And then All For One says, I learned that you are quirkless. That doesn't make me love you any less. I will give you power. You can live your normal life. You can live your life with power and never have to fear anyone. And so, this is what happens. The doctor actually lied. Deku does have a quirk. And it's a quirk that can save All For One's life. That is a healing factor. That's stronger than Wolverine. It's stronger than Wolverine's. And the test lied. Well, not the test. The doctor lied so that way he can keep All For One to himself to study him. So yeah, it's a double cross. Now, Deku doesn't know this because he's never really had a cut. He's like mostly been safe his entire life. So when what happens is Deku gets 3 quirks. 3 new quirks. A teleportation quirk, a heat vision quirk, and a blade quirk. That only comes out of his hand. Like, they're like katana blades, but they come out of his hands if you've ever seen Wolverine Origins. So yeah, he basically becomes that version of Deadpool. And so, one second. Sorry, I'm seeing how long I've been recording. Wrong thing. Recording. Go. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, so now Deku. Back to what I was saying. Now, Deku gets these quirks, and he doesn't know how to use them. Well, he passes out due to all the force and pain that's going to him. Now, I know about that one rule. If somebody gets too many quirks forced into them, they lose their mind. They become like a Nomu. That doesn't work for Deku. Deku's mind heals himself constantly. So Deku is born. Well, not born. He gets these abilities and he's completely fine, which shocked the doctor. He didn't realize how powerful the healing quirk was, so he just says, okay. And so Deku then, All For One sits next to, after Deku wakes up, All For One looks at him and says, so, do you have any interesting things to tell me, Midoriya? And All For One, another thing All For One says is, I heard that you go to school, and do you have any friends? Zuko says, only one, but she has a rough family. And All For One goes, really? How bad is her family? Her mother and father are abusive. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna get a whole bunch of crap for this. So, I'm changing a certain character. I'm changing her motivation, and I'm also changing her personality. Now, I'll get there when I get there in this episode. Now Deku... And so All For One hears about this and goes, well, that's unfortunate. I'm glad she has you, Midori, as a friend. And he goes... And Deku goes, I wish I could do something about it. And then All For One says, well, Midoriya, you can. Now with these abilities I've given you, you can become the strongest villain you can become the strongest villain. You can take out anybody you want. And Deku looks at him and goes, villain? Why would I be a villain? And then Inko walks in and says, because we were villain. Well, your father is the leading villain in the underworld. and Deku looks shocked. He was hoping that he was like, he wished his father. Yeah, I can't speak. So he is dumbfounded by this, and I know this is gonna be a lot for taken for a freaking 4-year-old. Now, Deku is. They also tell Deku to keep it a secret, and and Deku asks, why doesn't Dad come home with us? And Inko explains he needs to stay heal for a while. And so, and All For One tells them that they need to go because he needs to get back into his Basta tank. That's what it is. Basta tank, I think it's called. And so All For One kisses Inko, takes off the mask a little bit, and then kisses Inko, hugs Midoriya. Kurogiri leaves with them. Now, they still have the bar, and Shigaraki is still a thing. So, but Deku doesn't know about Shigaraki. Only Kurogiri and the other villains know, including Inko. Now, Shigaraki wants to find... Well, after they leave, Shigaraki walks in and says, "So that was your son, Master." And All For One, before he gets into the Basta tank, says, "Yes, that was my son. You lay a finger on him, I kill you myself, Tomura Shigaraki." And Tomura says, "I would never hurt someone of my masters," and walks out of the room. Now, cut to a day later. And so they went back to the doctor. They revealed that he has quirk, but they didn't reveal the fact that he had a healing quirk to begin with. So Deku labels it L as one quirk, Deadpool. He calls it, well, he thinks of a long thing for it, but he calls it Deadpool. He calls the quirk Deadpool. I'm giving him a different villain name. Now, the Deadpool quirk, they explain what the Deadpool quirk is, and next day at school, when he goes, he sees a girl. He sees a brown-haired girl she's kind of a small emo girl, basically. And since you guys already figured out with the brown-haired thing, there's only one person I think you all can guess who it is. Yes, it is Uraraka. Now, what I'm changing about Uraraka is her motivation, her personality, and her freaking family. In the original continuity, her family is all loving. They don't have a lot of money, and they all love each other very, very much. And Uraraka wants to make money for her family. Now that's different. Her parents are middle class, basically. They have money to survive, but they wanted a boy, so they blame everything on Uraraka. Even when, say, like, the other parent did something, they blame it on Uraraka. And so, it's really bad. I told you guys I was going dark with this one. Now, Uraraka's personality is different, too. Uraraka is more quiet. She's a lot shyer and paler, to be exact. And so, and Deku is Deku's only friend, but makes it worse is Uraraka gets bullied by none other than our resident angry Pomeranian, Bakugo. Now, Bakugo doesn't bully Deku because he just doesn't see any point. He doesn't know that Deku's quirk is quirkless. He thinks that he is, but he doesn't want to mess with them anymore. And so what happens is, the next day at school, when Deku goes over to the bench, sits down next to Uraraka, and they just are talking. Bakugo walks up and just starts making sparks with his hand, and Deku sees this and just yells at Bakugo to go away, leave us alone, or else I'm gonna get the teacher. And Bakugo gets mad at this and says, "Shut up, teacher's pet," like something like either that or something else. And so what happens is he just like, I'm gonna say Uraraka was like drawing in a notebook. And what happens is that Bakugo grabs the notebook, tears it up, and next thing, what happens is after Deku sees this, he gets really, really mad. And everybody looks at and Bakugo looks over at Deku. Deku's eyes are glowing red. Next thing that happens is lasers shoot out of his eyes. Now, even though Deku just got these quirks, I know if you're given a quirk, it takes a lot longer. You have to like get used to using it. But I'm gonna say Deku knows how to use the teleportation and the heat vision on the fly. He gets to instantly use those. And so he uses that, and then he teleports. Then he thinks of teleporting behind Bakugo and punching him in the back of the head. He does exactly that. He teleports behind him, socks him in the back of the head. And the teacher sees this and just breaks up the fight. Well, before the fight could even start, Bakugo gets knocked out. Cold. And everybody is looking at Midoriya. Even Bakugo's goons are like, okay, we're following this guy now. And Deku, after hearing them say that, Deku just looks at them and getting ready to blast them with heat vision. And they just back up. And everybody is dumbfounded, including the teacher. But Deku still gets in trouble. All this, all that. He gets sent home. And next thing, and so Inko and Kurogiri are talking to Midoriya about what he did. And so what happens is, then they hear a knock at the door. It's actually Uraraka's parents and Uraraka. And Inko opens the door and says, "Oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Uraraka." And they look pissed. And Deku sees this and is like, oh shit, oh crap, what are they gonna do? And Kurogiri walks up behind Inko and says, yes, what would you like? And this is how cruel the new Uraraka's parents are. They're like, keep your brat away from our daughter so that way she can't actually get injured so we don't have to deal with her anymore. After hearing that, Deku gets up. Like, seriously gets up. And freaking runs and teleports upward. Like, he teleports, like, in the air. And hits Mr. Uraraka in the back of the head. And teleports back to his seat so that way they don't see what happened. Uraraka saw that and was just laughing. Well, Chaco was. But, and Mr. Uraraka was just like, what the heck? What? Did I just get hit? And Deku on the couch, like, they're still in the same apartment that they are in the original canon, so there's like the doorway and the couch, so you can barely see it. Deku's on the couch, and so they just hear a quick snicker, and it was Deku. And so they explain that you should never say that about your daughter, and they just got mad. Why did I zoom in? Now, they get mad, and then they leave, they storm off, and Kurogiri walks over to Deku and says, I don't condone what you do, Midoriya, but that was sly. I know Kurogiri's not like that, but I'm just gonna say he just did that once. Inko gets upset at Midoriya, though, and Inko sees what Midoriya's been talking about, like how bad Uraraka's parents are. And every time somebody tries to get child services on them, it doesn't work. Cause I'm making some parts. The world is corrupt. I'm just gonna make this world corrupt, like really bad. But so yeah, this world is bad and like really bad, and so people with villainous quirks are instantly frowned upon. They really don't like people with villainous quirks. Now, the next day at school, a new boy comes in. Kid around 4 years old walks in, purple hair. At least I think it's purple. I'm colorblind, so I can't tell. I'm partly colorblind, so I can't tell crap colors. So, I think his hair is purple. But out comes in Shinzo, and Shinzo explains his quirk. And so everybody just like gives him like a mean look because it's villainous, except for Deku and Uraraka. Uraraka's quirk is the same, I forgot to mention that. And so they become fast friends. Shinzo, Uraraka, and Deku. So all of them are just a really happy friend group. And they all help Uraraka over her anxiety and depression. Which she still has though. Everybody still has it. It's late, so if you hear me yawning, I'm sorry. I think I'm ending the video pretty soon. But now, let's do a time jump. Let's do the time skip. Now let's skip to where they're all 15. The teacher walks into the classroom. Everybody's really excited. And then what happens is he throws the papers up in the air and says, I know you all want to be here, so it doesn't care about these tests. And so then he looks at the paper and says, he says, wow, we have 4 people applying for UA. My phone just went off. No.